Welcome to the Productpreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Delarzak, product development and marketing coach and mom of three. Learn from and get inspired by women entrepreneurs killing it in the product space. Each episode, we will share the latest trends, proven strategies, and inside secrets of the product world, all designed to give you greater confidence to create your own success through a product venture. Let's do this. Hey guys, I want to take a quick minute to share with you about the Product Launch Lab. I created a one-of-a-kind 6-month online coaching program as well as done-for-you services that will take you from idea to launch. Through this program, we'll work together to come up with, develop, and market your product. You'll have my input, guidance, and support to rely on every step of the way. If you'd like more information, head on over to NicoleDelarzak.com and book a free strategy call to discuss your product idea. Welcome to episode 11 of the Productpreneur Podcast. Today's podcast is all about digital marketing. Before I get into it, I wanted to let you know that the audio isn't perfect. We recorded this at the time of COVID-19 when everyone is home, and maybe it was just the internet bandwidth for our interview, or my mic had some issues. I'm not sure, but I know that just a year ago, my perfectionist self would have wanted to re-record. These days, I'm more of the attitude that done is better than perfect, and you'll definitely get immense value from this episode. So let's get into it. Today, I'm interviewing Astrid Sucipto. Astrid is a virtual business strategist and digital marketing tech expert. As Chief Pixie at Digital Pixie, she specializes in helping entrepreneurs succeed with their online programs. She helps businesses transition their services and products to an online platform and provides a strategy to generate leads and turn them into paying customers. Astrid is a mom to 2 active little girls and 3 cats and wife to a unicorn husband. Welcome to the show, Astrid.
Thank you, Nicole. I'm really happy and excited to be here today.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this conversation because I know you have so much to share. So let's get started. Firstly, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, sure. So, I haven't always been in marketing, so I have a very interesting journey. I went to school, this is many years ago, and I went to school for employment relations and sociology and really wanted to get into human resources. But my first job out of university was actually in marketing. So I was hired as a marketing coordinator for a really large insurance company. And I really, really had fun. You know, I did everything in marketing as a marketing assistant. I planned events. I looked at and reviewed marketing reports. I had conversations with the business development team. It was really fun. But a year into it, a human resources position came up. And, I was really torn because I had fun in marketing, but I went to school for HR and that's really what I wanted to do. So I decided to leave my marketing position and I got into human resources. So I actually spent about 6.5 years 7 years being in human resources. I went from being an HR coordinator to an HR consultant, and then I went to become an HR manager as well. And then I decided that, you know what, I really didn't want to be in HR. I actually wanted to be in marketing. and I really missed being in marketing. And communications, and I love communications. So I basically started networking, got in touch with people, and then I got into marketing. And that's how I transitioned to marketing. And I spent, the next, I would say 7 or so years being a marketing communications specialist.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so that's sort of like how I got into marketing. Mm-hmm. And when I was on my second mat leave, I decided I didn't want to really go back to work full time, and I wanted to start my own thing. So it's really interesting situation. It's not like I said, I wanted to become a digital marketing specialist. I actually was looking into creating a play center in Liberty Village where I live. Yeah, because there's a need for a play center. So, I spent the majority of my mat leave really looking into buildings, like property space. I did all of my calculations, my projections, etc. It didn't work out. I decided not to go with it because it was really expensive. The overhead for rent alone was going to cost me $11,000 a month. And it was really expensive. And I was heartbroken, to be honest with you, because I really was really looking forward to it. But I also knew, like, I'm a risk taker, but I also take smart risks. And after doing my numbers, there was no way I was making $11,000 a month back for a long time. So
Right.
I had to, forget that business, basically. And then I started looking into other businesses, and I came across a franchise called Bloom Tools. And Bloom Tools is a digital marketing franchise. So people get confused about that, but it works similarly to a real estate agency. So, real estate agents are independent,
right,
but they have the backing of the business. So that's how Bloom Tools worked. And I did that for a number of years, basically being on my own, building websites, really got into SEO and a whole bunch of digital marketing stuff. And then I decided to recently branch out into my own brand called Digital Pixie.
Cool.
So that's how I got to where I am today. That's my main business, basically.
Okay, so you're not with Bloom Tools anymore. Now you've kind of started your own agency.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am still with Bloom Tools because I'm still a franchisee. So what that means is that I can still, because Bloom Tools has its own platform and they have an amazing website platform. But now being my own agency, I get to help and choose which one is the best platform for my clients. If it's Bloom Tools, great. I'll put them on the Bloom Tools platform. And if it's WordPress, I'll put them on a WordPress platform, right? So now I have choices. And I can help my clients. It depends on what their needs are, what their business is, etc.
Yeah, that's like so many other women I find just realize after mat leave that they don't want to go back, and that's when they start a new business. So I think a lot of women in our audience will resonate with that. And I know that you wear a lot of hats, and that's something I admire about you, that you have different businesses, and I always wonder what's Astrid doing, because she's always up to something new. So maybe can you tell us a little bit about some of your other things that you're doing?
Yeah, for sure. I think I'd like to step back and tell you how that came about, why I have so many businesses. I think I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. So it's not so much that, I was on that leave and I really wanted to have my own business. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know what it was that I wanted to do. But I've always been this way. I've always tried new things ever since I was little. My dad, I guess that comes from my dad. He used to own a large construction engineering business, building roads and buildings and all that stuff, right? So really, I think that's where my entrepreneurship came from. When I was in university, I remember I was helping somebody at a trade show, and I've found roller shoes. I don't know if you know roller shoes. You see them? The kids you see the kids using these days. Well, this was like dating back, I don't know, like 20 years ago, whatever it was. And I found them, and they were like $25 a piece. And I thought, wow, I can sell these. I was like, I was like maybe in my first or second year of university. And I bought like 2 dozens of them on the spot. Just like that.
Hilarious.
So my husband, then boyfriend, was like, you did what? You bought 24 pairs of shoes? I said, they're not just any shoes, they're roller shoes. They're so cool. And he's like, how are you going to sell them? I said, I don't know.
That's awesome.
So I said, yeah. So my sister lived in Ottawa at the time, and I knew about the Ottawa market, right? So I said, hey, you know what? We'll sell them at the Ottawa market. We'll go over there on the weekend and we'll sell them at the market. And he's like, okay, sure. We'll sell them at the market. And of course, back then there wasn't really internet. I think AOL was around. So I didn't really know how to sell at a market. I didn't know that you had to apply and become a vendor, all that stuff. I was just literally going to show up to the market in a car. And I figured if I couldn't get a table, I didn't even know how to get a table. I thought that I would actually just sell them off the side of the street out of my car. Right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just, I'm just like that. Right. So I think that's why I am the way I am right now.
Wait, what happened?
Oh,
did you sell them?
Sorry. I actually didn't, because I wanted my husband and my brother-in-law to my sister's boyfriend at the time to model the roller shoes. So they were using them, and they were just using them, getting used to them, and the wheels started falling apart.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, so I was like, okay, I can't sell these because then there's
Oh,
liability issues and all of that stuff. So they tried a few more, and every shoe they tried, the wheels fell apart. So I
oh,
was like, okay, so I actually said I can't sell shoes that are going to fall apart.
oh, okay.
And I called the supplier, the manufacturer, and I said, your shoes are falling apart.
Mm.
I want my money back because I can't sell them.
Nice.
And she actually gave me my money back.
Oh,
So
good.
I said,
Okay.
and she actually came to my house, my parents' house, because I was obviously living at my parents' house at the time, to pick up the shoes, right? Back then, they were so new. Nobody, now they're everywhere. But back then, again, we're dating back, I don't know how many years now. So the quality wasn't there. And they were one of the first ones to come out with the shoes. But unfortunately, the quality wasn't there. So I didn't actually end up selling them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, which is
Okay.
kind of
Well,
a
that's
disappointment. Yeah, so that was kind of like, but really, I was ready to go that weekend
yeah.
in a
Well, good for
car
you. That's
with boxes of
amazing.
shoes, So anyway, but I also still, I could have still gone on and sold them, to be honest with
Mhm.
you, or just tried or whatever, but I really didn't feel good about selling shoes that were going to fall apart. So right now, like I have, I also have I call them my side hustles, my side businesses, because Digital Pixie is my main business.
Mhm.
So I have Phases Beauty, and Phases Beauty is really all about natural, safe skincare and
Mhm.
cosmetics.
Mm.
And it's just a really small business. I just started making it. I just started making skincare for myself because I
Mhm.
have really dehydrated skin and I couldn't find a product that would work for my skin. So I started learning and actually became a certified natural skincare formulator
Oh,
through all of
wow.
my
That's
learning.
incredible.
I did, yeah, I wanted to do it the right way. I have very sensitive skin and I've used natural products in the past that actually caused issues for my skin. So I really wanted to
Mm.
make sure that I understood the chemistry behind everything,
Mhm.
and so that when I make the products, they're truly safe. They're not just safe because not just because it's natural, it doesn't mean that it's safe. So I focus
Mm.
on not so much that it's natural, but I focus on the safety of it. So that's what my
Right.
business is about. So it's geared towards like dry and dehydrated skin. And I'm also working on launching another product-based business. I have a soft spot for products and product-safe businesses. So product-based businesses. So I'm actually developing really elegant and functional 5-in-1 bags for women that can
Mhm.
take them from day to night. And it's been a dream of mine to have my own bag for probably the past 10 years now. And it's been a long time in the making. And it is definitely a lot more difficult uh, than anything I've ever imagined. I'm still going through my prototypes, and I'm probably on my fifth prototype right now.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so that's I kept saying I'm going to launch, this year, and it doesn't happen because
Mhm.
that's just how it works with product-based businesses. Sometimes it
Right.
doesn't happen with the timeline that you had hoped because the manufacturing process is really complex.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So that's great. So you have
So
2
that's sort of what
product
I
businesses on the side.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing I admire about you, that I see you taking steps and taking risks and trying new things, which is incredible. And how you got into digital marketing and how you're starting product businesses. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's always been my personality. I'm a risk taker. Obviously, I've learned to take smarter risks over the years, but I'm also not really afraid of failing. I've tried things. I get a million ideas in my head, a million of them, and sometimes I look into them, sometimes I don't, and sometimes I look into them and I drop them because you know what, it's not viable, it doesn't make sense, it's stupid, whatever it
Mm.
is, right? And
Mhm.
then sometimes I look into them and it goes somewhere, and then it dies, and then it goes somewhere, and it's you know but then there are some that really stick with me, right? And
Right.
those are the ones that I pursue a little bit more. Again, that doesn't mean that it's going to go anywhere, but sometimes it does, and then sometimes I just try it. Right?
Mm.
Sometimes I just tried. At the same time that I got into Bloom Tools, I created a dropship business
Oh,
as
wow.
well. I
Okay.
don't know if, yeah,
Mm.
it was called Urban Life Essentials. And I was selling basically everyday carry. And it was a really fun thing to do, but it didn't work out, and it's okay. I closed
Right.
up shop and I said, oh, well,
Yeah.
now I have all these suppliers and all these suppliers, and it was a fun experiment, so to speak.
For
Right?
sure.
And I always learn something from my experiences, always. Right.
Right.
I joined a travel business, and that didn't work out either because I wasn't super passionate about it and I didn't have time for it.
Mm.
So I decided, you know what, that wasn't really the best idea. So I'm just going to let this one go.
Right.
I also started something recently as well. I'm not sure if you heard, just very recently, I decided to launch a shopping editorial blog.
Oh, no, I didn't know.
And
Okay.
yeah, it was just super easy. Like my website just finished, and I finished the website in like 6 days.
Wow.
And it's basically like going to be content heavy. And the entire point for that is to really help bring visibility to small businesses. So it's like it's a
Okay.
shopping blog, and the
Yeah.
entire intent is really when people go on there, they see all of these products, and hopefully they'll,
Right.
click on shop. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's so amazing that you continue to try new things. Let's focus on your Digital Pixie business. And I know our audience would love to hear tips and tricks as to how they can grow their product business using digital marketing. So first, what kind of businesses do you work with, and what would you say is your specialty?
I work with both service and product-based businesses, and my specialty is really online businesses.
Okay.
Um, so whether it's product or service, if you're a service-based business, if you're launching online courses, etc., that to me is a product, is a digital product. But
Mhm.
again, I work with both business and product-based, service and product-based businesses.
And what would you say that people struggle with the most when they come to you?
Lead generation, and
Mhm.
also the technical side of digital marketing
Mm.
is what they struggle with the most. I find that first of all, lead generation is a big thing because they launch something and they have no idea how to get people to buy their products
Mhm.
or service. So that's pretty big. Or if they have an idea of how to make everything work, they don't really know how to piece the technology behind it together, right?
Okay.
Another thing that I find that they struggle with is there's so much to marketing. There's so many ways you can market yourself. They get
Mhm.
overwhelmed, right?
Right.
What they start with, what do you do? And then what ends up happening is customers end up just saying, forget it, I'm not going to do anything because it's too
Mm.
overwhelming.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the
So
biggest
I,
thing with small businesses for sure is the overwhelm.
mm-hmm.
So you
Yes,
help them
yes.
with the strategy and figuring it out. How do you help them overcome this?
Yeah, so I offer a consultation with them,
Mhm.
and I work to understand where they're struggling. First, I work to understand what their goals are. What is it that they're trying to do? And then what are they struggling with? And, what kind of budget they have as well, right? And then we can work, I always tell them baby steps. Let's start small. Again, it all depends on where they are in their business and what they're
Right.
coming to me for, but I do provide a strategy with them. And
Okay.
if it's a bigger plan, I'll provide it in phases. Like I'll do,
Mm.
okay, this is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. But sometimes I don't want to overwhelm them, so I'll just say, okay, this is phase 1, and we
Mm.
can talk about phase 2 and phase 3 later on.
Okay, got it. Awesome. I know you have so many things to share, so I thought we could break this up into a couple of areas for those who are just launching their products and then those who have already launched and want to scale their product businesses. So, for those who are looking to launch a product, what are things that they can do to set themselves up for success and sort of set themselves apart?
I think the best thing that they can do is to really get fans
Hmm.
prior to launching. Get the buzz going, get the hype going. Start all of your social channels if you don't have one already, and
Mm.
just start putting out teasers about what it is that you're doing, right? And then getting a fan base for what it is that you're trying to launch. And then when you get closer to launch, what I would suggest is having a pre-launch, or
Mhm.
whether it's it could be anything. A pre-launch could be, join the wait list. Now, by now, people would have known what it is that you're launching.
Mhm.
Um, and then you can say join the wait list, and then offer some special perks for being part of the wait list, right? Maybe you're only launching 2,000 products to start with. So be one of the first 2,000 to get the products before they go out to the public, or offer a really hefty discount.
I love that, because you're building up some demand, and then you're getting your email subscriptions, and you're also, how much to produce at the end of the day for your first batch. Right.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything else they can do when they're just starting out to sort of set themselves up for success, and just, before they've actually launched their product and they're about to sell?
Yes, for sure. So they can definitely, they should definitely look at launching their website, not launching their website in terms of being ready to, take orders. But again, it's a pre-launch. It's more like of a teaser website. Here are some of the products. Here's what it is. Maybe do some videos along with it. And it is a good idea to optimize your website at that point as well, because SEO takes a little bit of time. So you do want to start doing that ahead of time. And people don't think about SEO until, months after, even years after they've launched. At that point, it's a little bit more difficult to get the ball rolling. But when you're still in the pre-launch stage, you're starting to get, the SEO optimized. By the time you launch, the idea is that Google would pick that up, your website up, and help you rank by the time you launch.
Yeah, awesome.
So it's just that time that you're looking at.
So great. For those who have launched a business, what are some ways they can grow the awareness and ultimately their email list, so that people they're ready to market to their audience?
So I would say, if the budget is there, do some ads for awareness. People always think, I'm going to do ads for conversion right away. It doesn't always work that way. Often you have to do the ads for really brand awareness, right? And there are different ads you can look at. There's the Facebook ads, there's the Google ads, there's the display ads, like the search versus display. So when you want to grow brand awareness, you're not necessarily looking at conversion right away. You're really looking at getting in front of people, right? So and the difference between Facebook ads and Google ads, and people always ask me this, is they don't really understand, is that I always look at Facebook ads as outbound marketing, because you're pushing your ads out to your customers, whereas with Google search, it's inbound marketing, because people are searching specifically for your product or service. So it's inbound marketing. And then there's the display ads for Google, which is also outbound. Now, display ads are the ones where you see, you might be on a blog and you see a display, like an ad. So that could be either a display ad or a retargeting ad. A display ad is not really meant for conversion. A display ad is really meant for awareness. It takes many times for people to see your brand to actually recognize it, right? If they see your brand once, they'll forget. If they see their brand, like your brand 10 times, they'll say, hey, you know what? I've been seeing this brand around, right?
Right. Yeah, I don't think people understand the difference between awareness and conversion ads. Are you able to explain what is that difference between awareness and conversion? Because I think people just think of an ad as an ad, and that's it.
Yeah. So awareness, again, is helping your customers get to know you as a business. You're brand new, your name's not out there, they have no idea who you are. And awareness is really, again, just to bring awareness to who you are as a company. Whereas conversion ads is really meant to convert. So, if let's say you're doing a Facebook ad for a product, the result that you want is for them to click through to your page and then click purchase. Whereas awareness is they want you to see them, to see their company name, their brand, maybe like their Facebook page, maybe follow you on Instagram, maybe check your blog and get to know you as a company. So that's awareness. Versus conversion, when you actually want the sale.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's really important, because people think that you have to target people with conversion ad right away, but it's kind of like you're in a relationship and you're in a dance and you're trying to, first you have their first date, and then you have the second date, and then, it progresses along. So when you're getting people to know your brand, you can't just be like, buy it.
Exactly.
Develop that relationship. Yeah.
Exactly. So you really do have to be patient when you're first launching your business. There's that sort of, I know that, people always want to see the ROI right away.
Right.
And you see the ROI, but you see it in a different way. I still see, when people are getting to your brand, that's still a return on your investment. It's just not a dollar for dollar at that point in time.
And then, so they're just starting out. What kind of tips would you give them to grow their email list? Because I know that's super important in terms of eventually bringing them down the funnel of purchase.
I mean, the best way is to offer something for free. And that's not always possible. But for a product-based business, you can offer free shipping. You can offer a free gift with purchase. Maybe you can entice them and say, I'm going to have a giveaway every single month. And then you can, sign up for the mailing list, and you randomly choose a person, like a winner every month.
Mm-hmm.
You can also give away samples. So, those little 5 milliliter sachet packs, for example, like if you sell lotion, for example, if you have the opportunity to get samples made, you can give them out and you can say, hey, sign up for the mailing list and you'll get the sample in the mail. And that way you're getting people to try your product at a low cost. And then you offer them a discount after, just because they've now tried your product. And if they really like your product, they'll come back for it.
Yeah, free samples is a great way to do that, for sure.
Exactly. And then you nurture them. And like you said, it's a relationship. So once you get them on the email list from, either you're giving something away, or I don't know, you could even do like a contest. I guess that's the same as a giveaway. You basically just have that you build that relationship with them, and that would be over emails. You send them things that are of value to your customers.
So I think when people launch a product, one of the things I see is that they think that if they build it, like they build a website or they build a product, that there will be customers ready and waiting and will automatically come to their website. So I think one of the biggest challenges people find is like getting traffic to their website. What are some ways that you'd say are the best ways to get traffic to their website in the beginning?
Putting yourself out there. Tell the whole world about your website. Tell the whole world about your products. I often come across companies and customers who I've never heard of them before, because they're just they feel, I think a lot of people feel a little bit shy about talking about their own products. But to me, you should be proud of that you've launched this product. It's not enough for you to just launch and say, hey guys, I've launched this product, and then leave it. Like, you have to talk about your products. You have to talk about what you're selling. And you can't be shy about it. Wherever you can, talk about it. Right now, the internet, especially we have social networks, Facebook, lots of groups and stuff like that. Keep your eyes and ears open for what people are looking for what customers are looking for. And if it's a fit, you say, hey, guess what? I can help you. I have this product, and here's how you can buy it. Or if you want to talk to me more about it, talk to me about it. But often I find that people aren't putting themselves out there enough. They have a product, and that's it. They send it at once, and that's it.
Wow, that's such a good point. Yeah, I do feel like a lot of people are a bit shy about talking about themselves, and it's something that you have to get over. If you start a business, you've got to like shout it out to the rooftops.
For sure, for sure. I mean, my sister makes custom furniture, and when she started making it, it was she didn't want to. She still doesn't want to really say much about what she does. But I was out there telling everybody about these amazing benches and tables that she was making. So much so, and especially around where I live in Liberty Village, in a condo, community where custom furniture is, there's a demand for custom size furniture. So it was to the point where she had a wait list of like 8 weeks, because people were like, I want custom furniture. But, again, if nobody said anything about her making custom furniture, then nobody would know. Right?
Yeah. So here it is. Here's a free way to get traffic to your website, is talk about your business. And it sounds so simple, but it really is. And actually, I do have a client who is so good with Instagram stories, like so good, and just all over Instagram. But she puts herself out there. And I think that there's something to be learned from that, because people want to see you. They want to see the authentic person behind the products. And so being the face of your brand is actually a good thing. You're like adding personality to what you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's so many businesses right now that people really they love stories. right?
Mm,
Customers love the story behind a brand.
right.
As much as they love the product, they might love the product or the service, they also want to hear how you got there. They love the inspiration,
Mm-hmm.
and they just love to know that there's a real person behind
Right.
the business, and it's just not a faceless corporation, let's say.
Absolutely. Exactly. And I think that's a real competitive edge that small businesses have, is that you can be the face, and yeah, you are the story, and people want to support small businesses. So it's an advantage, actually. And
Mm-hmm.
just going to, once people are on your website, so say you're really successful at getting people to your website, getting the traffic. Once they're there, another hurdle is getting them to actually purchase. So, what are ways that you would say that people can increase the purchases on a website, the conversion, and also the amount they purchase?
Offering different incentives for the purchase. um, it could be, if you're trying to get them to purchase right now, it could be a one-time offer, a sale, for example, only for 2 days. Or you can also offer upsells and cross sells. If you're on Shopify, there are a lot of different apps that can help you with cross-selling and upselling.
Hmm.
um, you know you see them all the time. You can add to cart, and then on the cart it says, hey, also buy this product for,
Right.
I don't know, $5 or something like that. You probably want to offer something that's a little low cost, that people like, oh, it's only $5 to add this to the cart, and you add it. So what that does is it
Mm,
increases the value of the purchase.
right.
And so from getting them to just purchase one item, you're getting them to purchase more than one item. So that's another way, to do it. And a lot of times I hear people abandoning their cart, right?
Mm,
That happens a
that's
lot
huge.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what you want to do is you want to capture them back
Hmm.
by sending them an abandoned cart email series. A lot of the
Hmm.
times I find that when people abandon the cart, they don't mean to abandon it, right? Well, it depends. Sometimes they're just too busy. They're just looking at it. I'm going to add it to cart and I'll think about it. It could also be shipping costs. So that's something that you have to look at as well. Oftentimes, I myself abandon the cart because I didn't expect the shipping costs to be so astronomical. And
Right.
sometimes it's more than the product itself. Well, if that's the case, then I'm not going to buy something that's more than the product itself.
Mm, absolutely.
So you have to be able to analyze all of those data and figure out what's causing the issue, what's causing the conversion issue, right? It could
Hmm.
also be the way your website is structured. You have to make sure that your website is user friendly. You have to take them customers through a journey. You only have like 5 to 8 seconds to convince somebody to stay on your website, 3 seconds if they're using their mobile device. So you have to make sure that you are making it easy for them to make that purchase. If they're getting the runaround making a purchase, they're not going to make that purchase.
Right. Oh, for sure. Website design is a huge component of people actually making that purchase, because if it's confusing, they're just like they're out. They don't want to have
Exactly.
anything to do with it. And I
Exactly.
know we have limited attention spans, and we don't want to take the time to figure things out. So you've got to make it super easy for them. Yeah. Okay, that's great, and yeah, for sure, abandoned cart is something that is, again, we have limited time. We kind of forget about things. We've got a lot of things to do, so you want to make sure you capture those people who have left your cart. Great, those are great ideas for increasing conversion on your website. Is there anything else you can think of that comes to your head?
Yeah, for sure. So especially if you're really brand, like a new brand, people don't really know who you are yet. You want social proof and testimonials, right? That really, helps uh, you brand become credible, and product reviews as well. So as soon as you get a product review, put them up on your website. Again, if you're on Shopify, there are apps to help you with that. So if somebody has purchased a product from you, you can automate the process so that you ask them for a review and maybe give them an incentive for doing the review. And the incentive is not just an incentive to provide a review, but it's also bringing them back to make another purchase. So if you say,
Hmm.
hey, you can get like $10 off your next order if you review this product, like, okay, not only are they getting a $10 a gift card, they can now use it on your site to make another purchase,
Oh, I love that.
right?
Cool. Yeah.
And then there's also rewards. Put in a rewards and referral system, right? So for every purchase, for every dollar that you purchase, you get a point, for example. And then after so many points, redeem it for, I don't know, it can be anything. It can be a gift card, it can be whatever, right? So there's that point system, and point system is really for loyalty, because people will be like, okay, well, I can buy from this company versus this company because I can collect points. And after I collect so many points, I get like $10 off, I get $20 off, I get $50 off, or I get this product for free, whatever the case may be, right? And you can also use the points to encourage them to refer you. So you can say, hey, you get 5 points for referring us to a friend, for example. Right? So there's so many different ways to grow your business, to get customers to come back and purchase and talk about you.
Yes,
you can
absolutely.
do things like user-generated content. When they purchase something, you can say, hey, take a picture of you with this product with this hashtag, and then you can win, again, something else, maybe another gift certificate. You want to think about what can they win that's going to make them come back to you, right? Make the purchase. And then in addition to that, now you're getting user-generated content for your social channels, and you're getting testimonials as well. Let's say that you've got a website and you find that people aren't converting, and you want to know what is going on. Why are they not converting? Again, there are tools out there that you can use. The one that I really like is called Lucky Orange, and it's a heat map tool. So what it does is it records customers' behaviors on your website to see where are they clicking, what's their journey on your website, and where do they get stuck. Right? So you know that they're clicking back and forth between different tabs, because you can tell now they're confused, and you can also tell at what point do they drop off. If they're scrolling through your website and then they leave, that there's something wrong. So again, there are all these tools that you can use. Use them to your advantage. Analyze the data to help you optimize your website for the best user experience.
Love that. And I like the idea of getting people to come back, because it's so costly to acquire customers. So if you can get them to come back and repurchase, to purchase something else, that's a huge win.
For sure. I have a client who was never using email marketing before, because, as a business owner, you're busy, and sometimes sending emails is the last thing on your mind. But I was kept on her. You have to do email marketing. You have to send out emails. 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 Well, the first email she sent, she had so much success with it. That, she's now sending regular emails, because she can see that people are coming back and making purchases.
Yeah, email marketing is super critical, especially for getting that repeat purchase. Yeah, for sure. And how about when people are on your site, they're buying, just increasing the basket size? Like, what, beyond upselling, is there anything else that you'd recommend for making sure that they order as much as possible?
Product bundles are a good way. So often you can say, hey, if you buy this product goes well with this product, and you buy the two of them together, you save $5. So that's a really great way of increasing the basket size as well.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And so, okay, you've got all this traffic and conversion. How do you know, and say you've done it all organically, how do you know when your business is ready for paid advertising?
You know what? I always say, if you have the budget for it, start paid advertising at the beginning. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to wait for paid advertising. You can start advertising at any time. It all depends on the budget, on how fast you want people to get to know your brand, right? So I can think of, HelloFresh, the meal kit. When they first started, they launched directly with ads. And without the ads, we may not have known about them at all. I have a client who launched a business. This is dating a few years back. He's in a very niche market, and he knows his customers really well. And he knows that his customers would be searching for his type of business on Google. And he knows that he's got competition, and he knows that he doesn't have any rankings. So he went straight to Google Ads, and there's a large return on ROI for it. So within the first day, so we had different ads going for the different services that he offered. Within the first day, he had one click, and that one click actually converted to a customer, and it was a $40,000 worth of business. But all he needed was that one click for the specific type of service, for somebody to find him. And he had a lot of competition, and there was no way he was going to be found when people are searching on Google without the Google ads.
Got it. So you think as soon as you have the funds to invest It's not like you need a certain amount of products. You just kind of need
No.
the budget.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
Okay, awesome. And what do you think in terms of the types of platforms? What would you recommend for new product businesses? I know there are so many ways to advertise. So there's Facebook ads, Google Shopping. You've talked about display ads. If you're just starting out, where should people start? What would be the first thing you'd say to them?
Start where your customers are, right? So it's not the same for every single business. If your customers are on Facebook and they're doing a lot of shopping on Facebook, then you go to Facebook and you do Facebook ads. If your customer, like in the case of my client, his customers are on Google doing searches,
Right.
do Google ads. So it really depends. You really have to know your customers and you have to know where they're spending their time the most.
Okay, great. And would you recommend people splitting up their budget? So figuring out, okay, I'm going to test Facebook versus Google, or is that kind of spreading themselves too thin?
I think that's spreading themselves too thin. I say focus on one platform first and see how that works out.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you also have to remember that these platforms take time to, especially Facebook. Facebook takes a bit of time to gather the data.
Right.
So you have to be patient. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to just put an ad for a week. And if it doesn't work, then I'm going to stop it. It doesn't really work like that. You have to continue with Facebook. It takes them a few months to gather the data.
Oh, wow. And I know you've recommended in the past a minimum budget. What would you say that would be the minimum budget for Facebook or Google ads?
So if you have the funds for it, the minimum would be 1,000.
Okay.
Because anything less than 1,000, you're not going to see, not to say that you won't see any traction, but the traction that you want really is going to happen when you have at least 1,000. You spend at least $1,000 in Facebook ads. You're thinking about reach, right? And you're also thinking about competition as well. Especially with Google Ads, it's all about how much is a click. It could be 20 cents depending on your keyword. It could be $8 depending on your keyword. So if you're only spending like $10 a day and your keyword is $8, well, you're getting potentially one click.
And do you suggest for people to try this out on their own, or best to hire someone to do this for you, or what would you say?
I would say to, if it's Google Ads, to hire somebody to do it for you. Mm-hmm. If it's Facebook ads, you can definitely try it on your own. And it's good to try it, even if you're not getting any traction on Facebook. If you install the pixel properly, Facebook is still gathering the data. So, you can still do that, spend a little bit of money, maybe not too much if you're just starting out and doing it yourself, just to get the data going. And then once you're ready, hire somebody and then spend the money on it. If it's Google Ads, I find that a lot of people are spending too much money on Google Ads because they're not doing it properly and they're not getting the conversion they want, and it gets really expensive. And what happens is, they think they're saving money by not hiring somebody, but then they're not getting the return on it.
Right.
So for Google Ads, definitely hire someone for it. And Google Ads works a little bit differently than Facebook Ads. It's not waiting for you to gather data, because there's all these algorithms. Obviously, with Facebook, all depends on the keyword, the competitiveness, how much money you're putting in, and then it's a bidding process. So you're not waiting for months to show up. You can actually, if you've got all of the components correct, you can actually show up on Google Ads right away. It's the retargeting that takes a little bit of time.
Thanks so much. These are such helpful tips. I wonder if you would like to just share with the audience how they can find you and how they could work with you.
Sure. So they can find me on my website. It's called digitalpixie.ca. And you can also book a free 30-minute discovery call, and I'll help you answer any questions that you have about your challenges or your digital marketing needs. And I'm actually also launching a Shopify course. It's a basic fundamental Shopify course so that you can build your own Shopify website. So I have a wait list right now. Again, you can find a wait list on my website. And if you're on the wait list, you'll get a special discount when it launches.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So thanks so much for joining us today and for all of your wisdom and insights. And I can't wait to see more about Digital Pixie and your new products coming up soon.
Thank you for having me, Nicole. I've had a great time.
Thank you for listening to the Productpreneur Podcast. If you love this episode, we'd be so grateful if you could take a sec to subscribe, share it, and review it on Apple Podcasts. Your review will help more women build their own dream product business. By the way, if you have any feedback, comments, or questions, email me at info@nicoledelarzac.com. Until next time, keep dreaming up those product ideas.